Welcome to the channel and welcome to this matched play game between the Necrons and Tyranids. Here we have another relatively small one. People seem to like the last one I did. This is 335 points of Necrons and of Tyranids. We're basically going to be fighting over this sort of oasis that we have here in the middle of this battlefield. The Necrons perhaps waking up from a tomb and thinking everything's okay. Let's go and dominate the galaxy, when in fact they have become reluctant monster hunters, because here is a winged Hive Tyrant with a little brood to back her up. For this mission, I'm going to go for one of the match play missions. I'm going to roll a d3. Basically, there's 3 of them, and I'll pick one that comes from that. Let's go and see what each of these guys are bringing to the table. So, the Necrons are from the Nephrach dynasty. That gives them what's it called? An invulnerable save of 6. It also means that if they choose to advance, they can instead of rolling a d6, they can actually just add 6 to their movement. They can do that through models, they can do that through terrain, they can do that through, I think, anything. Yeah, so that's very useful for armies who want a bit of mobility. We have 10 Necron warriors, all with the same weapon, the Gauss Flare, the 24-inch rapid fire one. We have our Overlord here, still unpainted, sorry about that. He has the Tachyon arrow. That is this weapon here, which I've used several times now, including on this channel, and he's never hit anything with it. Do you think he'll hit something? He might just like one-shot the Hive Tyrant dead or something. I don't know if that's possible, because I've never hit it. I've never had to look at the rules that much. I imagine it does d6 damage. Anyway, back here we've got the real deal Scorpex destroyers here. These guys are just ridiculous. They are just so good in close combat with those hyperphase glaives and the what's it called, a reap blade. That's a big hitty one. These are fast hitty ones, but they all just do ridiculous damage, and it's all kind of painful to be on the receiving end of. I won't give away any spoilers for my other battle reports, but these guys have made appearances before, so check those out to see so you have a wider data pool to make determinations on if these units are any good. I will say that I've enjoyed playing Necrons recently, and I love the models, and I think that I've found a way to make them look really cool with that gold armor. I have got a tutorial for that on my channel if you think that's true. It's really easy, really quick, really easy. So I actually bought some more Necrons today, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot more Necrons on the channel, and when I say that I mean like 2 to 3 times as many. Cool. Don't tell the missus. Over here we have our basically Tyranid army. We've got the winged Hive Tyrant. This is the first Tyranid I ever bought, actually, when I first got my airbrush. I really like the model. I'm quite proud of the paint job on it. Anyway, blah blah blah. She's got wings. She's got 2 pairs of monstrous scything talons, so she rolls 1s to hit. She already hits a lot. She gets an extra attack because she's got 2 pairs. She's got a tail, which she's done some pretty cool things with on the channel before with the tail. Again, no spoilers, but if you see any Tyranid bat reps and you want a bit of a laugh, I would recommend checking them out. On to these guys. I always get Termagants and Hormagaunts mixed up. These are Hormagants? Yes. Anyway, there's 20 of them because you basically need that many of them to do literally anything. They have, I believe they have 2 pairs of monstrous of scything talons. I don't know if their feet count as scything talons. I always considered them to count as scything talons, but maybe I'm wrong. Please leave a comment below if that's the case. The thing I will say is that having used these before, many thanks to everyone who corrected me on the wound pool rules. Basically, as a unit finishes shooting, you can roll dice and see if they'll basically reanimate. Characters can't do it, and a unit that has been wiped out can't do it. I was basically kind of reanimating everyone as we went along, and to be honest, it played out well, so it didn't like break the game or anything. So yeah, I'm not losing any sleep over that. I kind of do think it would be cool if there were rules where even if a unit was wiped out, I don't know, maybe you could leave like a token that represents a pool of just mashed up bits of machine, and then like, you know, over time they could accumulate together. So 2 turns later you could have like a Necron warrior appear out the pile or something. But that's not the rules. So yeah, cool. That's the armies. Let's roll a D3 and see which mission we're going to play. So here we are in our little rulebook, Eternal War Mission Pack, Combat Patrol Missions. So what is it? 1 to 2 is Incisive Attack, 2, 3 is Outriders. Sorry, yeah, the numbers are there. Right, let's roll the dice. 1, and we are going to be playing Incisive Attack. So here is Incisive Attack, and that is what the objectives look like. So, what is the deal? Mission briefing. 2 forces have dug in and fought to a stalemate, adopting a new approach to the war. Opportunistic bands of warriors now venture forth into no man's land to seize vital ground and defeat the enemy with surgical assaults across the front. Okay, mission rules. In this mission, if you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase, it remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it, unless your opponent controls it at the end of the subsequent phase. Got you. So you can capture one and move on, and it's still yours, right? So they're trying to make you have a big clash in the middle, aren't they? I think. So, objective markers taken hold. At the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 5 VPs. If the following happens, they have 1, they have 2 or more, they have more than the enemy. Okay. Secondary objective. Score 5 points if you control the objective marker in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of your turn. Okay, interesting. Cool. So that's what that looks like on there. Whoops a daisy. And on here, this is what it looks like. We have played this mission before, I believe, actually on this exact battle mat. So a bit of deja vu there perhaps. But I think it was Imperial Guard and Necrons last time. I like having Necrons on these sandy battlefields. It just feels better. It's kind of cohesive, isn't it? What I am going to do is what I did before, and I'm going to allow infantry units to split up just to make it a bit more tactical and interesting, so they can have 2 units of 5 and they can have 2 units of 10. Right, let's roll off and see who's going to deploy first. Oh, I'll also mention that there was 1 extra bit of cover on this side, which ended up being behind the objective, so I've added some of this, so that's going to be light cover as well. Cool. So we will have purple dice for the Tyranids, black for the Necrons. Lowest deploys first, and it's going to be the Necrons to deploy first. The Golden Hordes line up as Necron deployment is complete. Let's pull out and sort of see what we're looking at here. So basically what I've done is I've actually opted this time to keep the Necron warriors to a 10-person unit. The person who told me about how the wound pool works also told me that it's actually preferable to have bigger units because you can keep rolling and rolling as long as that unit stays alive. You can see that oasis there in the background. The Scorpex destroyers basically going to lend strength to this flank. Hopefully going to move ahead and capture that objective over there. If things get even better than that, then they'll be having their sights on that cover over there. Maybe we're working through the forest to go and score the extra points up at the Necron deployment zone. Over here, our Overlord is basically going to stay within, you know, what is it, like 3 inches of this unit, so he can't be targeted. And that means that he won't be actually, do you know what it is? That's for shooting, isn't it? He can't get shot at because no one's got any guns, but ideally, you know, the enemy would have to shoot at the Necron warriors before him, sorry. So yeah, he's basically going to stick with them for a bit of security, and they're all just going to march up like the kind of scary Terminators they are. And that is Necron deployment. The monsters ball gathers and Tyranid deployment is complete. Takes absolutely ages to get those little homogons standing up, let me tell you. So let's have a look what we've got. Pretty straightforward. One big Zerg horde of what they're called, Hormagaunts, and then the Hive Tyrant here on the right flank. I didn't put the Hive Tyrant circling because I'm not entirely sure that basically, actually they'll probably survive a turn, won't they? But they might run off. That's the thing. So yeah, I wasn't entirely sure that if they ran up, they wouldn't just get mowed down by all these rifles and then basically fail morale tests and potentially run away because they won't have any synapse. So yeah, well, basically got everything on the board. It's a risk though because he could get popped, or she could get popped. Yeah, the plan of the Hive Tyrant's just going to be to try and go up and kill stuff, smite stuff, hit stuff, eat stuff, all of that. And this is the battle for the Oasis, how it sets up for it's looking pretty good, I think. What I will say is that this is going to be I can't remember the word for it is, but it's like -1 to hit if shooting through this or into this. And it's going to be +1 cut to cover saves for people who are basically standing behind any of this stuff. So cool, that's deployment. Let's roll off and see who's going to go first. Highest. Same, okay. And the Tyranids will go first. Where did they go? Turn 1 movement is complete for the Tyranids. And wow, they are way up the field already and right into that Oasis. This, Hormagaunts is actually touching 2 of them there. So, I mean, they didn't score it, but this is theirs in turn 1. These will be probably theirs in turn 2. They're really scoring a lot of objectives here. We're not scoring in the first round. The Hive Tyrant with its move of 16 on full wounds and full wings is basically very much in a Smitey Smite range and Psychic Scream range of the Necron Overlord there. So that's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. So yeah, that's movement done. I'm kind of surprised they moved up so much. These guys have got adrenal glands, by the way, so they got +1. And I think they rolled a 5 for their advance. They get -2 for moving through that. Their total was like 14, so they could have been here in open ground, but they ended up there. Anyway, let's move on to Smite and Psychic Scream for the Necron Overlord, taking some off the Hive. We'll start with Smite. We need 5 or more. We don't want double 1s, we don't want double 6s. And we've got 10. Bad news for the Overlord is that means D6 wounds, I believe. I double checked it just because this is pretty devastating in turn 1, action 1. The Overlord has 5 wounds left. It's D6 more wounds coming off. Is the Overlord dead basically on a 5 or a 6? No, only 2 wounds off, so the Overlord's left with 3 wounds. 3 wounds left. Now the same, a similar psychic attack now with Psychic Scream. Needs 5 or more to work. And that has worked. D3 mortal wounds. If this is a 5 or a 6 again, then that unit is dead. And it's a 6. So the Overlord, before even moving, before even shooting the tachyon arrow, is dead. If you have ever successfully fired a tachyon arrow, please leave a comment just to let me know if what it feels like. Wow, look at that. That is Psychic Scream done. And that is the end of our Necron Overlord. So now I think the Hive Tyrant will declare a charge on these Necron warriors. Okay, I've measured it and she needs 9 basically to get into combat with these Necron warriors. It will be absolutely ridiculous if this happens. So can she get a 9? No, she can't. Shall I command point the 3? I'm going to command point the 3. Big moves, come on. The Hive Tyrant gets in to close combat with the Necron warriors quite comfortably. Uh-oh, that is ridiculous. So let's just recap there. Turn 1, the Hive Tyrant started here and is now there and has killed the enemy warlord and is probably about to smash some Necrons up, but they can reanimate, so we'll see what happens. Hive Tyrant, 5 attacks because she's got 2 pairs of monstrous scything. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Oh, good job we got the reroll 1s. Reroll 1s. All hit. We'll be wounding on 3s. 1 hasn't. Now these guys, these Necrons, these 4 Necrons who are basically splattered to smithereens, they get a 6 invulnerable. Let's see if that works. Wow, 2 of them did and 2 of them didn't. So that's cool. So that's 2 wounds off. So 2 dead units, they go into the wound pool and they reanimate. I think it's on a 5 or a 6. Let me check. Yeah, so these guys basically reanimate on a 5 or a 6. Let's have a go. If they don't, I mean, the Hive Tyrants only killed 2. So this is interesting. So 5 or 6 to reanimate. No, they haven't. So after that, the Hive Tyrant has only managed to kill 2 Necron Warriors, which is an interesting development, I think. Now, Prehensile Tail. This will also hit on a 2. Doesn't get any rerolls. Hits. Wounds on a 3. 8 wounds. Wow, lots of 6s today. No AP on the tail, so 4 up save for the Necrons. That's failed. Let's see if it's a 5 or a 6 for reanimation station. Nope. So that's actually 3 Necron Warriors who are splattered. So the Necron Warriors now have piled in a bit. 5 of them can hit. And they are going to be hitting on 3s, which is a bit better than I expected. Oof. Wounding on 5s. Oh, 2 5s. Wow. Before I go ahead and do the save throw for the Hive Tyrant, you get to reroll 1s for reanimation for these guys, and one of them rolled a 1, so 5 or 6 to bring 1 back, and he has actually only killed 2. Yeah, that's a successful one. So we get another Necron Warrior back. Hey guys. AP on the attacks from the Necron Warriors, so this is just going to be normal 3-up save, I think it is, for the Hive Tyrant. Yes, it is. Yeah, they both saved. So the Necrons did no damage, but only actually lost, like, what was it, 1 or 2 guys? Like, that's pretty impressive survivability when you've got a Hive Tyrant, you know, beating you up. End of Tyranids turn 1. They're doing very well on the objectives. They've killed the enemy warlord and they're now hitting the Necrons. So let's go ahead and see what the battlefield looks like after Necron turn 1 movement. So unsurprisingly, the Scorpex destroyers have basically moved up here and they are going to charge at the Necron, the Hive Tyrant. So we basically need anything other than snake eyes. Let's just double check that for, yeah, they're in. So let's get those. Whoops, let's get those guys in. The Scorpex destroyers are in, and honestly, they're gonna hit first. So the guy with the ones in, the guys with the 1 in each hands, what they're called, the threshers, they're gonna be rolling to hit first. They hit on 3s, and they are hardwired for destruction. So they get to reroll 1s. So 3 are up to hit. We've got a couple of rerolls to make there, and we've got quite a few misses. Reroll these. There you go. So what's that? 4 hits. We're wounding on 5s. Oh, 2 of them. These do 2 damage each. They're minus 3 AP, so basically the Hive Tyrant is going to have to use her 4-up invulnerables. And they've both failed. Hive Tyrant, do you want to reroll one? 4 up for 2 wounds. Do you know what it is? Yes, I'm going to reroll one of those to save. And yeah, we're going to call that 4. So 2 wounds off the Hive Tyrant. We're now going to hit with the big old Hyperphase Glaive. That's the one on the front. This guy. Oops. Nearly messy. We're going to be hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. All hit. Gives us +2 strength, so we've actually got the same strength as the HT's toughness, so we're wounding on 4s. Only 1 of them. And I, as the Necron player, I'm going to re-roll 1 because I really want to hurt him early on. And that has wounded. So 4 up invulnerables now. Hive Tyrant. And 1 pass. 1 failed. The Hyperphase Glaive does 3 wounds. So, yeah, let's put that down at 2. 7 wounds now for the Hive Tyrant remaining. 8 attacks now for just Necron Warriors. They're hitting on 3s. Wow, that's bad. It wasn't that bad. These are going to be wounding on 5s. Cool, cool. 2 3-ups for the normal save of the Hive Tyrant. Both saved. The Hive Tyrant now gets to fight back. And knowing that the Necron warriors basically don't pose a huge amount of threat, they don't have a huge ability to wound, they also don't have anything to push her onto her, what's the word, invulnerable save. It's basically all going to go into this unit of Scorpex destroyers. 7 wounds. She's only just clinging onto the maximum capabilities that she can have. So we're going to have 5 attacks, re-rolling 1s, hitting on 2s. Re-roll these 2. Oops. All hit. A wound on 3s. Wow, only 1. 3 AP means Scorpex destroyers get a save throw of 6, which they fail to do, and that unit takes 3 wounds. That means that they lose 1 Scorpex destroyer. But wait, the wound pool. So 3 wounds. What's it called? So if these are all 5-ups, then that unit gets to come back, and if they don't, then they go in the wound pool. So we want 5 or 6s for reanimation station. Ooh, I thought that was 2. So okay, they've got 1 wound in their wound pool. Let's put that there. We've got a lot of dice everywhere. Let's hope we remember what they're all about. Okay, so that wasn't a terrible round of combat, I feel like, for either team. It could still go either way, I think. I think this combat will decide the whole outcome. These guys could come charging in next turn and just save the day. Let's... I think that's the turn. Yes, that's the turn. Let's move on to turn 2 and see what happens with the Tyranids. First of all, in the command phase, we own this, we own this, we own this. Meaning we own 1 or more, that's 5. We own 2 or more, that's 10. We own more than the enemy, that's 3. So that's 15. So that's 15 victory points that we have. We don't get the extra ones for having this one. So Tyranids starting to score victory points. 15-0 start of turn 2. The red and blue tide rises now for the Necrons here, and the Tyranids are really at their throats. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens here. It's the Tyranids' turn, meaning that in combat the chargers hit first, but then if the Scorpex destroyers survive, they would hit first and probably hit the Tyranid, the Hive Tyrant. So what I'm going to do now is the psychic phase, and the nearest unit is actually, we're touching bases with the Scorpex destroyers. So yeah, this could be pretty interesting. They've both got what? They've both got 3 wounds each. There's 1 wound in the wound pool. Okay, so now we're going to do smite. Hits on a 5. On equals 5. So that hits. D3 mortal wounds. And that is 3 wounds off. So one of them's dead. Wound pool now. So what? It has 3 wounds. There's already 1 in the pool. If these are a 5 or a 6, I think it comes back. Yeah, that's a 5 and a 6. So it's reanimated. Next we'll have the other one that doesn't, what's it called, Psychic Scream, hits on a 5. That has done it. D3 mortal wounds. What's that? 2 wounds off one of these. So we got 1 wound, and you know, that feels like not a huge amount of wounds to come off. I wonder, maybe you don't reanimate after psychic attacks. Maybe that's a thing. Leave a comment if that's a thing. Cool. Let's go on to see if... Well, yeah. These are going to get into combat. Let's just do the... What's it called? Administration. Yeah, they're all in. And now I'm going to stop filming for the 35 minutes it takes to move them all. Yeah. That's not looking good for the Necrons. That's a lot of attacks, and I think when they've got 20, as they do, they get to reroll things. It's going to be interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, like, where's my finger? 5 of them here hitting the warriors, and then whoever, the rest of them hitting the Skullback Destroyers. Straight off, as 8 of them can attack the Skullback Destroyers. Let's try and do that. We're going to be hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s with, what is it, 16 attacks. Only 1 to re-roll. Oh, I think I made those miss. They were hits, and that's a miss. Yeah, so these will be rolling a wound now. Wounding on 5s. Quite a lot of them, actually. No AP on these, 1 damage each, so Skullback Destroyers 3-up saves. And they failed 2, and one of them only had 1 wound left. So now, reanimation station there's no wounds in the pool. Can these be all 5-ups to keep 2 of them alive? No, but there's 2 back in the wound pool for that unit. So actually no, so that was wrong, because one of them was on 1 wound left. I worked it out, so one of them remaining is on 2 wounds left. The other one is dead, but there's 2 wounds in the wound pool. We're going to take that one. What's it? Right, cool. And basically we're keeping the guy with the big old hitty thing, because he really needs now to, when it comes to his turn to hit, he needs to kill that Hive Tyrant, and hopefully see how these Necron Warriors do against these Hormagaunts. I've never seen Hormagaunts and Necron Warriors fight like that, so yeah, let's see what happens. But now first we're going to do the 5 attacks against the Necron Warriors, so I'll get 10 dice together. Oh, I think we've got 10 here. Yeah, let's get rid of that one. And I think they hit, yeah, I've just done it, haven't they? They hit on 4s, whoops. Hitting the Warriors on 4s, that is 10. Rerolling 1s. This one, missed, okay. Quite a few hits. Still wounding on 5s. 1. 4-up save. That's failed. Is it going to reanimate on a 5 or a 6? No. So one of these guys is a Splad. Now, the moment I've kind of been waiting for, can the guy with the big hyperphase glaive jobby try and do some lasting damage onto the Hive Tyrant? If you can soften it up enough to 1 wound, then it would be cool if a Necron Warrior could maybe take down the HT. But, you know, Hive Tyrants are so tough, aren't they? You never know what's going to happen. So now we're going to do the, what's it called? The Skullback Destroyer with 2 wounds left, hitting the Hive Tyrant. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s because hardwired for destruction. Oh, they've all hit. Yes. Wounding on 4s. They've all wounded. It's a very high AP, so the Hive Tyrant basically needs to use her 4-up invulnerables here. She's only got 7 wounds left. These do what? 3 damage each, so this could be 9 wounds off. This could be a dead Hive Tyrant, or it could be a Hive Tyrant on 1 wound, or it could be a Hive Tyrant on 4 wounds. Let's see. 4-up invulnerable saves. 1 failed, so that's 3 wounds off, and the other 2 have passed. As the Tyranids, I'm going to re-roll this for a command point. And that's failed, so still got 3 wounds coming off. She's down to 4 wounds. 6 Necron Warriors now, and they're just basically trying to cut the head off the snake that is the winged Hive Tyrant. We're going to be hitting on 3s. They all hit. Oops, we're going to be wounding on 5s. Just the 1. This will be a normal 3-up save for the Hive Tyrant. Can't be re-rolled, and it's saved. So after that, Necron, what are they called? Tyranids turn 1, turn 2. Yeah, the Skullback Destroyers, which are the big hope for the Necrons, are fairly emaciated looking now. Necron Warriors are left. Wow, it's not looking good for the Necrons, to be honest. And I have to say, the Tyranids haven't lost a single model yet. So Necrons turn 2. Wow, guys, you've got 1 objective. So you got 5 points over here versus 15 for the Tyranids. There's no shooting to do. No one's got any pistols. There's no psychic to do. So we're going to go straight to combat. Everyone's already in combat, and the player whose turn it isn't gets to hit first. That's the Tyranids. Uh-oh. So we're on 16 hits again, going into the Scorpic Destroyers from the Homagons. Just a horrible time. I mean, I know it's a robot and things, but a really horrible time here for that Scorpic Destroyer. What we want? I think we want 4s, is it? Yes, 4s, rerolling 1s. Ooh. Reroll. That's a 5, nice. Wounding on 5s. 2 of them, that's enough. It's got 2 wounds left. Now the Scorpic Destroyer gets to make its 3-up save and see if it kills that Scorpic Destroyer. So what? It's got 3-up. Yeah, they both passed. Sorry. Now we're gonna have. I think there's more able to hit now. So there's 6 of them there. So I think we're gonna have a few more attacks. These are going into the Tyranids. These are going to the Necron Warriors. Hit on 4s, rerolling 1s. I missed one. Okay. Reroll this one. Missed. Wounding on 5s. 2 of them. Okay, and they get, what is it? 3-up save for the troops? No, 4-up saves. 2 failed. Okay, interesting. So 2 Necron Warriors dead. Do they reanimate? 5 or 6? One of them does, one of them doesn't. So 1 dead from that unit. Okay. Now the Hive Tyrant is going to attack. And honestly, they're all going to go into that little dude there. And I think I forgot to hit with my prehensile tail before. Now that she's on, what, 4 wounds? She is on the lowered characteristics. If we look at the codex over here, what was it? On 4 wounds, she hits on a 3 now, which is still pretty good, to be honest, isn't it? She's hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. Re-roll 1s, and loads of them hit. Wounding on 3s. Wow, absolute killer. So now the what's it called? The Scorpic Destroyer needs to make a lot of 6s here, all 6s in fact. And that's not enough 6s. That's not even a single 6. So now it's got 3 wounds. So there is the chance that reanimation station will occur. We've got 2 wounds in the wound pool, so only one of these needs to be a 5 or a 6, in fact. So let's see what happens. No! And with that, probably the only hope for the Necrons is dead. And now, potentially in vain, the last remaining Necrons, what are there, 6 of them? They're all going to try and hit the Hive Tyrant, who's on 4 wounds. Come on, guys, I'm rooting for you here. We've got, what is it? We've got 130 points of Necron Warriors, even less than that, 100 points of Necron Warriors versus the entire Tyranid Horde, 335 points, hasn't even lost a model yet. Hitting on 3s, yes. That's not 3s, guys. Wounding on lotzes, 5s, 1 of them. Come on Necron Warrior. If this fails save throw of 3-up, then the Hive Tyrant's down to 3 wounds. 3-up. Oh, typical. That's genuinely a very cocked hat. And that's failed, class. So the what's it called? The Hive Tyrant's down to 3 wounds. Well done. And let's do some consolidation. These guys consolidate lots, and then move on to Tyranid's turn. What number? 3. So actually, before we do movement for the Tyranids, we've got the command phase. So still on that. Actually own that now, and so that's bonus points. So we're on 34 points altogether to 5, which is quite telling when you look at this little scene here. So yeah, Tyranids, let's go. Hive Tyrant has now turned her attention to the small matter of the little shiny things at her feet. So what we're going to do first, smite. We want 5 up. Ideally we want a 10 or 11. That's 11. That's absolutely perfect, guys. D6 mortal wounds. And how many? There's 6 of them left, so this could wipe them all out. 4. Wow, so 4 of them are dead. Let's do a little wound. What are they called? Wound flipping pool rolls. 5 or 6 to see who reanimates. One of them reanimates. 3 of them are dead. 1, 2, 3. Oops, sorry. Now we're going to do the other one. What's it called? Smite Light. Psychic Scream. Ooh, it fails. I'm going to command point this. And it passes. D3 mortal wounds. There's 3 of them left. That's 2 dead, leaving 1 left. Oh no. 5 or 6 to reanimate. One of them reanimates, so there's only 1 dead. Oh no, not going well for the robots. So yeah, that's actually them to hit now, and they're gonna. It's got 3 wounds left, so they're not gonna kill it. So let's move on to the hitting phase. Necrons to hit first. They're hitting on 4. No, hitting on 3s. Brave little dudes, aren't they? Wounding on 5. Not wounding. Okay. Hive Tyrant. Lots of attacks. What was it? 5 attacks. Ooh, probably hitting on a 4 now. Let me have a look. Yeah, hitting on a 4. Oh no. Yes, hitting on a 4. Re-rolling ones. Re-rolling ones. Okay, not re-rolling that one. Splattering on 3s. Ooh, do you know what? Can I re-roll? I don't think I can. So 6 up invulnerable. Fails. Reanimation station. Fails. So there's 1 Necron left after Hive Tyrant hitting. And the now how many Hormigans do you think can hit him? I'm gonna say the unit was 20. I'm gonna say what, 14, and I'm just gonna guess it. So we're gonna do 28 dice rolls. No, I'm just gonna do them in batches of 14, just because I can't be bothered, and he's probably gonna die straight away. So get my dice together. Here we go. So what are we hitting on? 4s, rerolling 1s. Oh my lordy! This is the first round of hitting. This is with the left claws, okay? We'll do the right claws after. Lots. Wounding on 5s. What's that? 4, 5 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's going to need to make 5 save throws. This is the last model left, so there's no reanimation station. Reanimation station is closed for the evening. So now our Necron warrior needs to make 5 4-up saves for the left claw survival. And he's failed. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone, that is the end of this battle. On victory points, the Necrons are winning by, what is it, like 34-5. The Tyranids have not lost a single model, alright? Not a single Hormigaunt. Hive Tyrants on low wounds, but the Necrons have been tabled without killing a single alien. And I really did not expect that to happen, whatsoever. So yeah, that was that. The fight for the Oasis. You guys can have that. That's your Oasis now. You can drink it. You can eat the leaves. You can eat the grass. Just take that biomass, guys. It's yours. You earned it. Wow, that was a lot more one-sided than I had expected. This is just a recent dead pile. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. That was crazy. That's crazy one-sided. I don't think... Yeah. One of the benefits of playing these games by yourself, with your own armies, is that you don't pick sides so much. It's one army you're like, woohoo! Or if the other army wins, you're like, woohoo! But I honestly feel a bit dirty, having seen what I've just seen. That was yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, that was Necrons versus Tyranids. Let me know all the rules I was getting wrong, because there will be lots. Yeah, thanks for watching Peacetime Painting. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and all that. I just bought loads of Necrons today. Oh no. Thanks for watching, guys.